Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Tech Tip Tuesday. Here we are, a brand new month, 1st of November, 2022. And I'm super excited tonight because, well, first of all, I've got a cool guest co-host tonight, which is very fun. I mean, I asked, hey, anybody out there want to join me tonight on the Tech Tip Tuesday as co-host? And bam, hands went up, right? So I'm excited to introduce you to my co-host tonight. Jake Barron from our head of operations is in meetings tonight, so he won't be joining us. But we do have, who do we got in the background? Do we have Henry tonight? I think we have Henry as the background in the customer service department. So everybody say hello to Henry. Thank you for being here from customer service. My name is Ken Close. I've been with Healy for about 3 years. My technical title, I guess, is electronics engineer. And I just specialize in using this engineering principle within the electronics and technical aspects, but also engineering principles around epigenetics, neuroscience, and some of the cool phenomenons around how we change this body we have energetically and through frequency. I'm also one of the board of directors for the United States. So I'm so proud and honored to be able to serve you guys from that position and also host the Tech Tip Tuesday. So yay, welcome everybody. Let me introduce you to our guest co-host tonight. This is Melinda Caputo she's from Florida. I'll let her tell you a little bit about herself. Coming in from Florida, joining us tonight from the East Coast. So we got a bunch of East Coasters. I'm a West Coaster, everybody, so it's a little earlier in the day for me. But hey, welcome, Melinda. How are you? Oh, you're muted. Unmute.
Thank you for having me. Hello, everyone.
Welcome. So Melinda, tell them, how long have you been with Healy?
I joined 2 years ago.
Right on. Have you had a fun time, or what's your experience?
In the beginning, it was a little slow start for me. I was working on the design business, and I was a little apprehensive with some of the, hiccups, but I love it. I have great energy. It adds so many benefits to my holistic lifestyle, and can't be without it.
And you mentioned we were talking in the green room, and Melinda said that she's got horses. Is that right? Or you live in horses?
I'm lucky to live in the horse capital of the South. So
right
everywhere
on.
you horse farms, and it's a beautiful area.
Oh my goodness, we have so many folks that work with horses that actually use Healy within the realm of animals and such. So what a great benefit. So thank you for joining us. I'm excited. So we might as well dive right in. Now, let me tell you a little bit about what we do here. So Tech Tip Tuesday, if you're new, first of all, welcome. Thanks for coming. I'm so super happy to be here with you. What we do is, this is a chat-based forum where you put your questions in the chat, and then Melinda will help to read them out. I will help to unpack those. Henry will be back there with the magic fingers, also giving content and better clarity for solving the mysteries. What we can't do is we can't treat, diagnose, or prevent any disorder, diseases, or even recommend microcurrent programs for such. So we normally don't dive into back office content. Those are things from a business side, but we can certainly talk about the blue dot, the pink dot, the new Healy app, which is right here over my shoulder, the HealAdvisor Analyze, all kinds of cool stuff around the technology. I'm always open for jumping into theory and usage. So if you guys, even if you don't have a technical question, even if you've got some strategy questions, you're not sure about maybe some ways you've been using your Healy or some ways you would like to use your Healy. I've been doing this for quite some time, and I am the experiment in my life. So definitely pull up your questions and let's get her going. So right out of the bat, what do we got? Let's see.
All right. My question is, hi all, quick question. Wasn't learning on the old pink dot. It's not on Mag or Pink. And what organization is Marcus turning the paper into? This is Sheila.
Okay. So Sheila, so the when it comes to your learning page, it is on there. Now, I don't know which edition that you own. So first of all, if you had it on the old Pink Dot app, so the one that's over here with the little dot right there, and then you just simply changed over to the new app, it should still have the same programs that you had before. So if learning is not on there, then my suggestion is to put in a customer service ticket. I don't know why it wouldn't be there, because when you do an update within the Pink Dot app, there is a process for doing that. Or even when you just first open this particular Pink Dot, or it's a, I don't know, what are we going to call this? The wavy pink app. I don't know. It's called the Healy app. Okay. So when you first load that onto your smart device and you first open it, then you connect your Healy to it, then it's going to automatically do an update. It automatically does an update. If it doesn't, now we went over this last week, and we even did a little demonstration about how to go into the settings, which is the little gear at the bottom right of your screen, and then go to your serial number and click on the little arrow, and it does an automatic little update. If that's not working and you still don't have the learning page for some reason, then you need to put in a customer service ticket, because there's something about your account and the edition in which you purchased that may be limiting that download. Okay. I don't know what it is. It's going to be a technical thing that only the backup or only customer service can solve for you. All right. So definitely put in that ticket. And if you did already, then Henry is here and he could take a look at what that ticket looks like and what's going on there. So, hey, might be able to handle it right now. I see one here from Linda. Hi from Alberta, Canada, by the way. Hi, Canada's in the house. She says, with the MagHealy, once it has been fully charged and discharged, is it important to fully discharge it before charging it again? So not necessarily. What I recommend when we're talking about rechargeable devices, doesn't matter if it's Healy or if it is your digital camera, whatever. My recommendation is to give them full charge and discharge cycles several times a week. Okay, several times a week. A battery, look at it like, well, we were talking about horses, right, Melinda? So when it comes to horses, and let's just say this is a horse that was in a race or a horse that was out in the field, when they're out working and you bring them back, you want to feed them, right? Water them, cool them off, right? And bed them down, right? Give them a rest. So same thing when you got your Healy, you got your MagHealy, work it fully. So I would recommend getting full charge cycles, meaning it goes all the way to where the battery's dead, and then you recharge it fully. So I recommend that a minimum of 3 times a week. Okay. All right. What else do we have?
Pam, in the case we recommended, oh, my bad. A question is, I keep getting a frequency. This is Nikki P. My question is, a frequency is generated, but no current is flowing. Please check the electrodes.
Yeah. So, and you're using the coil. Is that what it says here? Using the coil. Okay. Couple things. So when we're using the coil, you've got the 2 little pins here on the coil right there that obviously plug into the 2 ports where your cables or wires would normally plug in. Now, I have had a couple of cases where that a piece of one of the cables, one of the cords, had been broken off inside of the Healy and stuck to the pin. And so when you go to plug in the coil, it doesn't quite seat all the way. In other words, you see the space right here, that little space. So it looks like it's on there, but it's not. And you actually, if it's going to be all the way in, you see it pushes down and kind of clicks in place. And there is no space between the seam. Okay, so Nikki's showing me that there's no space. Good, good. All right, so then the fact that it's clicking all the way in means that you have a proper connection. All right, means it is connected. Now, what is your current, or in other words, your intensity setting to? If it's up to 100, and you're still getting that no current flow, then we've got an issue potentially with the coil itself. So take your intensity on your app. So with your coil plugged in, and on the intensity settings, the plus and the minus key at the bottom of the app, click that little plus key until it goes all the way up to 100, all the way to 100, and see what you got. Now, the minimum recommended operating intensity for the Healy, the coil itself, the minimum operating intensity is 65%. All right. Now, depending on the program and which frequency is being transmitted through the coil, sometimes the lower frequencies need a little more power. Sometimes you can go down below that 65%. But if you're at 100% and you're still getting no current flow, then we have something defective within, possibly within the coil. Because if you do not get that message when you're connected to the wristbands and the cables, in other words, when you're connected to the wristbands and cables and you are able to get current flow, and you're not with the coil itself, then there's something going on with the coil. It's rare, but that's a possibility. Okay, so give that a try. Bump up your intensity to 100% and see what happens there. I saw one back here, Melinda, that,
Go ahead.
From Pam. It says,
Support.
Pam, about the sales or deals.
Right. Yeah, the question she has is, can you tell us what the special deals that was mentioned today on frequency and friends?
So there was some good deals in there, and I'll tell you what, hopefully, Pam, that you registered for frequencies and friends and was able to get on there, even if maybe, you didn't get a chance to write that stuff down. But I want to tell everybody, the same link in which you got the invitation in your email when you registered, you got a link in your email, and you were able to join the call. That same invitation link is the same link to the recording. So cool, right? Go back to that invitation link, click on that invitation link, and it'll play the entire thing over for you. The cool thing about that is you can actually hit the pause button, right? When it's live, you can't say, hey, wait a minute, I didn't catch that, right? But when you're listening to the recording, you get the pause button and you can write things down and get all that content. But in short order, they extended the cool October 45% off deal on everything from the holistic and above, as well as some team building, or I should say some business building aspects of how you can get a free MagHealy. So definitely take a look at that recording, or in your back office under the promotions tab. It wasn't published earlier today yet, but they will put those flyers in your back office under the promotions tab. If you are a member, you have a back office that shows up, and over on the left side of the screen, there are those promotions. So take a look there. Let's see what else.
Looks like Nikki has another question on top of about the Pink App program. How does changing the intensity get on the device? Because I thought we can turn off the phone app once we loaded the program to the Healy device. Okay.
So let's kind of go over real quick the function of either one of these apps right here behind me, whether it be this Pink Dot app right here or the new Healy app. Anytime we are interfacing the app with the Healy hardware device via the Bluetooth, when we're interfacing live and you've got the app on and you are loading a program or you're making whatever kind of adjustments via the intensity, that's a live function when the app and the Healy are connected via Bluetooth. Now, once you've added a program to the Healy hardware, there's a memory location in the Healy. So let's say you chose, I'm just going to use my favorite, which is muscle program. Let's just say you chose the muscle program from your app. You said, go ahead and begin, and you'll see the green light flashing very quickly, the blue light flashing at the same rate. The quick flashing green lights repetitively is a data transfer. In other words, content, instructions, the program itself from the app is being loaded onto the Healy hardware. Okay, so that's going on in the Healy hardware. Now, when that process is done, the app will show you that the program has begun, right? And then at that point, you can adjust the plus and minus on the intensity if you like. And then after you've made your adjustments, you can shut the app off and the Healy will run through the entire program, whatever the timed program series is. But now the max time is shown on the program in the beginning, and the Healy will start doing that. You can't, once you shut the app off, you won't be able to adjust the intensity at all. You won't be able to monitor anymore whether there's current flow, adequate current flow or not. You won't be able to see which frequencies are being transmitted to you, but it's still happening in the background. So the Healy is still doing its job, irregardless of the app being open. Here's a little note I want to add, is that it's a good idea, especially if you're new to, or using a program for the very first time. It's a really good idea to run the program fully and monitor it on the app, because some of the lower frequencies, in other words, the lower number frequencies under, say, about 400 hertz, some of those lower frequencies have a little bit more need for power to get through the body, because the lower the frequency, the closer to density, in other words, the density of the body. And so some of those frequencies require a little more power, a little more higher microcurrent setting. And so it's better to watch that, because sometimes you'll be fine at, say, 800 or 1,000 hertz, or even at 10,000 hertz. But all of a sudden, the program shifts to 220 hertz, and you'll get that no current flow or inadequate current flow message, right? And that's on the new app. The old app would be like the black line. Okay, so watch it, see how your body responds. And trust me, it's not going to be the same day by day, because sometimes you may be a little more dehydrated than others. Sometimes you may be just a little more emotionally resistant. I'm going to tell folks that our emotional state has a bearing on whether these frequencies and how Healy can heal our bodies. It's not just Healy. Our emotional state has a bearing on how our meal is absorbed within our body, how our exercise is absorbed, or how our body utilizes some of the things that we do. So maintaining a good emotional state in addition to a good current flow for those frequencies are necessary. Okay. All right.
All right. We have Judd Judy has a question. I have 2 people with Healy residents who have yet to see it up because they forgot their usernames and passwords. They cannot send in a ticket because they have no access to their website. I've sent in tickets for help to no avail. How can I support them setting up their Healys?
That's a great one. Henry, can you chime in with Judy here? Because I know that we, as, say, a sponsor of these people that are having struggles, can request some content from Healy, and then Healy will generate an email or a portal in which they can communicate with customer service directly. They'll still have to communicate with customer service directly, period. It's just that if they have lost all of their ways of getting in, then customer service is really the only way to do it. We, as a sponsor for them, can assist in that regard. But and if you're not getting responses to your tickets, Judy, that you have submitted in regards to this issue, then maybe Henry can help you out right now by private messaging him with the ticket numbers you're trying to solve. Okay, let's do that. See what we can do here live. Okay.
Another question that Judge Judy has is, with the 40% off, do new signups need a code to get discount?
No, it's automatic. So the back office, when you actually put I know we used to have this code, and it was like, I know, it was like, ugh. It's better now. I mean, we've come a long way. So basically what happens is the back office automatically gives you a discount. Now, however, when you click the edition, and you'll see the edition price will still be full price. You put it in your cart, it'll still be full price. But when you go to check on your cart, go and view your cart, you'll see the discount at the very bottom. Sometimes you have to scroll down, but you'll see that discount automatically applied and the 45% is reduced. Yay.
Hey, Pam, in the MagHealy, does the position 3 do anything other than flash some pretty lights?
There are some other significance with the position 3. It doesn't have to do with all the programs though. I want to say it might be with the McMicken programs. The position 3 is needed, but yeah, you can, there is in the back office, take a look at the owner's manual, or actually from the app, you can go to owner's manuals in the app, go down to the information part, and you can look at the manuals. And in there, it gives a lot of great content. I know. Who reads the manuals? Well, you should. I mean, I should. Everybody should. But it's important.
Another question Pam had was, how important is it to turn the MagHealy back to position 1 when it is not being used?
Well, that's the off. So, you know, if the program's over, just like the Healy, if you hard close the app, it automatically shuts off. So if you see nothing flashing, it's off. But I like to, I always put it in the position of off. Now, Healy was made differently. It doesn't have a little off switch. It's just got the button. But even sometimes you need to, if you want to shut it off before the end of a program, you have to press the button and it will go off. But at the end of the program, they automatically shut off. Well, they actually go into standby mode for a little bit of time, not very long, even when all the lights are off. Okay.
Alicia W. I have a customer contacting me with an issue. Her Healy is having trouble connecting and running in both apps. She also let me know this today. Hi, thanks for the help. It worked initially, but all day today, my Healy won't stay charged. Neither of the apps is working. The Bluetooth works, but the green light won't stay flashing or show at all, but does stay solid when charging. I'm not sure what to advise.
So the green light comes on when it's plugged in. The Bluetooth flashes. The Bluetooth flashing indicates that the fact that it is connected to the app. Okay. If it's connected to the app, but it's not doing anything, in other words, you haven't sent a program to the Healy, then the green light is not going to do anything other than just be in standby mode. Now, let me find that question because I want to hear that. Who is it from?
Alicia W. It's pretty close to the bottom.
Okay, so have we missed a bunch of questions? Or are we good?
No, I'm looking back. I think also we've had support from our
from Henry. Thank
yes,
you,
Henry. At Henry.
Okay. So the statement was that neither of the apps are working. So this is another one of those, it's a struggle because there's so many varieties of things that could be going on here. When somebody says neither app is working, when you open an, first of all, the sequence in which you connect the Healy to the app is a very important sequence. So hard close, folks, I'm going to tell you a little instruction right now. Hard close every app in the background of your device. Okay. If you don't know how to do that, then whether you have an Android or an iPhone, you need to go to YouTube. I love YouTube. Why? Because there's some movie star that's putting on a performance for you, show you exactly how to do what you want to know how to do. All you gotta do is just put in the search bar, you know, something about how do I XYZ, right? And it'll be all kinds of how-to people are going to be wanting to show you how to do it. So you put in, how do I hard close an app on my Android? How do I hard close an app on my iPhone? And boom, that'll populate with how to do that. And YouTube will show you exactly how to do that. Now, I promise you, if you don't know how to do that, you have a plethora of apps open in the background because they don't close themselves. They're all running in the background. So the more apps you have running in the background, the more resources that your smart device it's being consumed by all those apps. And Healy is a very resource hungry system. It wants to be able to use attributes of your screen, attributes of the CPU or central processing unit of your smart device. It needs all these features. I should say it needs all these resources. So when you have a lot of apps in the background running, resources are low, functionality is low, and the app is probably going to have a problem. So step one, hard close, or what's also called force close, all the apps in the background. Okay, step one. Step two, turn your Healy on first. Make sure you turn the Healy on and the little green light's flashing. Okay. Step three, open the app. Doesn't matter if it's blue dot or pink dot, open the app. And then let them synchronize. If you're using the new MagHealy app and you've used that particular hardware before, the serial number is probably already stored in the app, which is cool. You don't have to scan it. It's already stored there. If you haven't, then you're going to need to scan the QR code on the back, and then the app will pull up the Healy. Now, it pulls up the Healy, you're going to see, well, first of all, when you turn that power light or the power switch on, the green light comes on. Secondly, when the app connects to the hardware, the Healy hardware, the green light and the blue light will both flash. The blue light meaning Bluetooth connection between the app and the hardware. Green light meaning it's on and we're ready for commands, or also meaning it's running a program. So once you've done that, you're connected, then you're able to load programs. But I would first of all ask you to try that sequence to make sure you're doing it properly, closing all the things in the background, and go from there. Okay.
Okay. And so
Okay.
we have Nikki P. Is it okay to wear new wired earpods while running a program? I worried if wearing metal was not recommended while using Healy Coil.
So great question, by the way. And the coil energy that goes out is, first of all, there are two distinct separate coils inside of this. It's just called the coil, but there's actually two coils in there, and they sit in 180 degrees opposition of each other. So when it's activated and microcurrent is sent through these two coils, it creates two distinct magnetic fields. And these fields, I'm going to turn the Healy coil this way. So I'm giving you a side view. These fields go this way, so out to the left and out to the right of the way I'm holding it. Now to the left, now to the right. So if it's connected to your Healy, let me show you when it's plugged in. It would look just like this, oriented sideways. And the magnetic energy, or I should say the direction of flow of the magnetic wave is this way and this way. So if you're wearing it on your body, against your body, right, which way is it going? Straight out in front of you and straight behind you, right, essentially. And magnetic waves wave outward. Now it's kind of going forward in a let's just call it kind of a cone shape, right? Outward, forward, outward, back. The center between those two magnetic waves is a zero vector field. So you have two magnetic waves going out kind of like this. And the center is what's called a zero vector field. In other words, it's a field of nothing. It's a field of almost like a empty space, a protective umbrella. And then in that field, in those fields oscillate, the frequencies are dropped in there. And so you're kind of in the middle of this cool magnetic blanket of energy, right? And your body's receiving this information. So let's say you've got the earbuds in. Where's my earbuds? I'm going to get my earbuds. They're here somewhere. I got my earbuds in, whether they're wired or wireless. Where is the Healy compared to the wires? Healy's down here. AirPods or whatever up here. And the energy from that magnetic wave is going into your body. Okay, so if you've got wires coming down from your ears down to, say, a smartphone or some other device, MP3 player, whatever, the magnetic energy that goes out of this device, out of Healy or out of any antenna or any wave generator, the magnetic energy that goes out of there will when a magnetic wave moves across a conductor, a piece of wire, right? Is a conductor, like the antenna of your car. A magnetic wave from the radio station moves across the antenna of your car, and in that invisible wave induces a current flow, or creates a current flow, electron flow, into the antenna of your car. And that electron flow goes down to your radio decodes it. Within this electron flow is information, all kinds of information. Everything the DJ said, all the music he's playing from the radio station, all that content is on that magnetic wave. And when it goes across your antenna, it's decoded, or I should say downloaded into the antenna. And then your radio decodes it and plays your music or the DJ's voice. So Healy is doing the same thing, sending those magnetic waves outward, right? But the difference is this conductor, the antenna of your car, is actually you. Your body is an antenna. It's minerals and water. It's the same thing as an antenna sticking up in the air, reading and collecting magnetic energy. These waves are collected in the body, and it's converted to electron flow or information into the body. And so when you've got the Healy against your body, those magnetic waves are putting that information in your body, AKA the frequencies, and your frequencies are interpreting, or your body's interpreting that information, and it's giving a result into your genetic field. So cell by cell is getting this information download from this magnetic energy. It's phenomenal. It's amazing, right? So if you have a wire that's sitting there and the magnetic wave is going in the wire, yeah, it's going to induce a current flow in the wire and give information to what? Your earbud, right? You're not going to hear it because it's probably not within two things. It's not within a high enough power to induce a audible signal. And two, it's probably not within the audible signal anyway. Okay. So you're okay. Short answer, don't worry about it. I mean, I just want you guys to understand concept there, right? That's important. You understand concept, how this system works, because it's very unique. And it's designed to be very effective within the proximity of your body. Okay.
Another question, she just, side note for that is, but it's not sending frequency through the earbud to the brain ear?
No, it won't do that. See, the earbud itself, inside the earbud is a speaker, and a speaker is comprised of what's called a diaphragm, and it's in a coil shape. So there's this moving component in a coil shape, and at the bottom of the coil is a coil and a magnet. And so when the wire sends energy into the coil, then the diaphragm moves, and it moves at a rate that generates sound. It's just air waves. Okay, so Healy doesn't have enough power to induce that signal. But besides the fact it won't induce that signal because it's on a whole different magnetic spectrum. It's not going to give anything into that earbud. So no, that's not going to happen.
Good.
Okay.
Judge Judy, I usually use the wristbands 90%, but would like to know why, when to use the coil. Should I run the same program with both coil and wristbands back to back?
Yeah, this is a great question. Actually, Marcus talked about that today on Frequencies and Friends, by the way. If you weren't there, sorry, we're not answering your question. No, I'm kidding. It's a very good idea to register, even if you can't attend at the time it's being displayed or broadcast, because you can go back to the recording. And I highly recommend going back to the recording. This is where we become, like super information highways, because it just feels better to understand this content when you're there live. But to answer your question, first of all, the wristbands themselves are implementing what I just told you earlier about electron flow directly into the body via the wrist bracelets and transferred into the skin. Now, electron flow is, it's hard for us to fathom the tininess. That's a technical word, write it down. The tininess of the electron. I mean, we have billions of electrons in one cell of our body, and we have 100 trillion cells in the body. So this, get a little idea of how many electrons you've got within your body. And Healy is sending information, electrons, that are oscillating at a certain frequency into your body. And that electron, one electron, is speaking to the entire universe. Quantum entanglement gives electron a majority of it is empty space, and within empty space is information. That's where the most dense information is. And so this is how electrons and the field are intertwined, whether they're your electrons within your body, the electrons within the magnetic field, electrons within the cosmos. There's an intertwining. And so when you are sending these electrons into your body via the wristbands, they're speaking very specifically to the mitochondria, I should say ATP of the, which is the energy of the cell. And it's actually raising the energy within the cell. Now, what cells? Well, it's the ones that these electrons are vibrating with in a frequency coherence. So if we're running the muscle cell programs or the muscle programs, it's speaking to our muscle cell systems. If we're running brain or learning or memory, again, that's what it's talking to. So electron flow is one of the most and the most studied, the most understood in terms of effectiveness on the market today. It's been studied since the early 1900s. And so there's a lot of content and information about microcurrent and this electron flow interface. The coil is new. It is a principle that's not new, but it is a technology that is new. And Marcus has done lots of studies to look at the effectiveness of it, still interfacing with the magnetic energy. So more or less speaking to the energy field of the, I should say the magnetic field of the body, as opposed to the electron field of the body. Yes, it is inducing electron flow because of the body being a conductor, but as a secondary process, instead of a primary process. Okay, so I recommend that you do, I like that 90% ratio. 90% time you're using the wristbands, but sometimes use the coil. Do both. Do both. I have a very distinct, what I call the dual Healy process, where I look at coherent or synergistic programs. I'll run one with the microcurrent and one with the coil simultaneously, because now we can actually run two Healys at the same time with the same app. So it's very convenient to do that. But anyway, yes, definitely wristbands multiple times per week. You can add in the coil. The advantage of the coil is that it is, if you've got some kind of disorder where you can't run the wristbands because of skin issues or whatever, then the coil overcomes that. If it's an activity thing, you know, the coil can almost be doing anything with you except for swimming. Do not swim or shower with your device. No. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on the wristbands.
Looks like we're all caught up.
Yay. So there is a little follow. It says, okay, so not through the earbuds. Okay. I also want you to understand that when you are running the coil, you can crank the guy all the way up to 100%, like I was talking to Nikki about. And when you crank it all the way up to 100%, it is going to deplete the battery a little bit quicker. All right. So different than when you're running the wristbands, because sometimes you can't tolerate 100%. I mean, that's a little bit too much current. The more sensitive we are, the lower we need that current flow. So basically what I recommend when you're running the wristbands is that you just simply run the intensity up to the point in which you can like feel the lower frequencies, like the ones below 400 hertz, you can feel them, and then you back it off one click, right? So you raise it up to where you can kind of feel it, back it off one click. I like to monitor the program, and when it drops down to like 100 hertz or something that's running at below 200 hertz, I like to use that as my measuring stick, because just because, you know, I don't know that if I have it cranked up really high for some of those higher frequencies, all of a sudden it drops down, I'm like feeling this amazing current flow. And the current flow with the wristbands is not supposed to be felt. Most people say, if I can't feel it, it's not doing any good. More is better. No, that's not true. Because the moment that we feel something, what happens when you feel something tickling your toe? What happens? What do? You look at it, right? I saw you, Paula. You look down at your foot. She's like, okay, so when you feel something like that, you pay attention to it. And where your attention goes, your energy flows. And if it's catching your conscious attention, then it's probably catching the attention of the cell structures. And the moment the system pays attention to something, there is a question that is started to become that pops up in the subconscious saying safe or not safe, safe or not safe, safe or not safe. That is the fight or flight mechanism. This is the sympathetic nervous system going, is this okay? Is this not okay? So we don't want that. We don't want that, because we want the cell systems to just be relaxed and doing their job, not having to worry about, is this safe or it's not safe, feeling something or not feeling something. If not feeling something is better. Okay. So, all right.
Double check.
Oh, so Judy said that she was not at the event today. Sorry about that. You weren't feeling good. Sorry about that. Hopefully you registered and you can still go and watch the replay. We usually post it on the Telegram group anyway. Somebody does. I mean, one of us will post the link to the recording, so you'll be able to get it. And I highly recommend you go and watch that, because Marcus did a great job this morning about talking about, well, this morning for me, about talking about microcurrent and the coil versus the wristbands. Did a great job talking about that. That was his part to share.
Sheila has a question. I can't find the 1.36.18 version. I hate to bug you all, but maybe my iPad is corrupted. I can't find the version. Any support?
Which version are you talking about? 1.36.18 version.
Yeah, it's close, almost 5 comments up. Sheila, to everyone, I hate to bug you, but let's see.
So which version are we of which app? So the
Just check.
We can go into, just take a look at the most current app. If you're talking about the app, you can
Her
see
previous was just a note. I went back into the office with the newest app, but I couldn't find out a serial number or order number, and whether or not she could use it with the iPad or iPhone.
read that. Where is that? Read that again.
Her first comment was just to know I went back into the office. She was communicating with Henry. And then down at the bottom, she just mentioned this question. I hate to bug you all, but maybe the iPad is corrupted. I can't find so she's trying to find the updated version, I think, so that she can use the.
Okay.
Maybe
So
Henry was in communication.
If you're going to, so Sheila, what version are you talking about? If you're talking about any one of the app versions, if we go to our app store and just type in, say Healy App, and whatever shows up. So the first one, like the pink dot app or the blue dot app, let's just click one of those. And once you get into the app store there, and you've got the app up on your screen, you can click on version history. There's a little spot that talks about version history, and it'll tell you the most current version of that particular app. So let's say in the pink dot app, the most current version is 2.0.20, right? That's just the most current. So if you look into your app, so if you open the app itself, you can go into the information part of the app and see which version you actually have. And I always recommend, by the way, open the app from the App Store, because if you now go to the App Store, take a look at the app, you go and take a look at it, it's going to either say open or it's going to say update, right? If it says update, that means whatever version you have on your smart device is old and there's an update available. Click on update. It'll automatically update your device, your smart device, with the newest version. Okay. And that doesn't matter. It doesn't necessarily even mean Healy. All app developers do that. So if you go to your app store on any of your apps, sometimes you get notifications that says there's an update available, sometimes not. But the point is, if you go to your app store, find the app, it's going to either say open in blue, there's a little blue circle, or it's going to say update. Okay, so that's going to give you the understanding of, do you have the most current or not? And when it comes to the MagHealy, the latest version of the MagHealy, let's see, I believe it is actually 1.2.3 or something like that. I'm not opening my app right now, so I'm not seeing it. The blue dot is 1.2, 1.3. That's the blue dot. The pink dot, 2.0.20. That's the old pink dot, this one over here. So I'm not seeing anything that was the 1.36.18. I'm not sure. If you're looking at content within your app and there's a version number, like that version means that the package that you have, whatever you purchased, there's a code that the cloud reads to download the programs onto your device. That's not the app version. That is your Healy Edition version. That's different. Okay. All right. Are we caught up?
It looks like we're caught up.
What?
Henry's in private is getting in touch with Sheila, so we're good.
I love that. I love it when we're caught up. Though there is a question. So let's see. In changing the amperage. So Nikki, I love your question because it sounds like Henry's got some stuff for you. All right. So changing the maximum amps of your Healy is done in the wavy app. See it over here behind me. All right. We call this the wavy app. All right. This is called the HealAdvisor app. All right. And in the HealAdvisor app, I'm just going to pull my device online here with us. And I'm going to show you guys real quick what that looks like. Okay. All right. So the HealAdvisor app is where we do a lot of stuff with some of the peripherals, such as our subscriptions, our modules that we own, that kind of thing. Okay. So you see it there at the bottom of the screen in the middle, the HealAdvisor, the wavy, I call it the wave app. So if I tap on the wave app, what it's going to do is going to open this disclaimer like they all do. And then it's going to download content from my cloud to my app. Once it downloads, it's up to date. And you can see that these are the different subscriptions I have, the modules, bioenergetic vitalization, digital nutrition. Here is the HealAdvisor search app, which is where you can go and find very specific microcurrent programs designed for certain physical conditions of the body. This is a super useful tool. You need to be able to, and everybody gets it. It comes free with every edition now since, I want to say since July of this year. No, it's last year, actually. Wow, time flies. The natural cycle here, which is what Nuno Nina created, and things that are based on the circadian rhythm. All right. And then there's the animal module. I don't have a subscription to that. So you can see it's grayed out, right? It's not brilliant in color. So that means that I do not subscribe to that. All right. So if I go down to settings, right at the bottom of the screen, that little gear, and click on My Healy, it's going to pull up all the serial numbers of the Healys I have. See that? And you see that little in green check mark, it says high current, or below it in gray is low current. All right. I can switch any one of these of my devices that I have from high current to low current. Now they come from the factory low current. So if you haven't changed this before, they're going to be low current already. So you have to go in there and just click on the switch button. When you click on the switch button, it's going to give you a little bit of instruction as to how to implement this switch. All right. It's a little video right here. It's playing a video. It tells you, it just displays how to do it. Okay. So once you've made the switch, you're going to need to go into your Pink Dot app under settings, check for updates. And when you make that switch, there's going to be an update available. It's going to download that update and change your Healy from low current to high current. All right. And that's it. So if I clicked yes right now, it would change that to low current. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to click no. And I go back. See how that's done? Pretty easy, huh? It's cool. I love this app. There's so much use that we can do with this app. Okay. All right. Some other things that are in there, you know, things about your account, the language you choose, some of the, this is just a lot of great content. Tells you the last time it was synced. Some great content. Here's the home screen again at the bottom. Click on home. There's the different programs that you have. This is how you would set up your HealAdvisor search or digital nutrition, bioenergetic vitalizations. There's some things you can set up for automatically notifying you to run your programs. It's kind of cool. It's a little coach in an app. All right. Okay.
All right. Pam has a question. Is it okay to keep the MagHealy base charging on unit when plugged in when not in use?
Again, back to the whole battery idea. So once it's charged, go ahead and remove it from the base. The base is a magnetic charging system, but I remove them anyway. There's really nothing you're going to do to hurt it. But what typically happens, or sometimes it happens, is that you turn your MagHealy on, start using it, it's still in the charger, right? Remember, we want to discharge completely, have these cycles, right? So you like, oh, my MagHealy is working. It's right there convenient. I'm just going to leave it sitting on the charger. Yeah, it's good to just pull it off, use it fully, and then put it back.
All right. And Judge Judy, Ken, how do I find this? I'm on Wavy now. I cannot find the high-low thing. Oh, wait, I found it. Nothing like, and woo!
I love it. See, patience. Right on, Judy. Good job. I knew you'd find it.
Paula Petrie, can the Advisor app create a list of different programs to run from different categories?
It can. And actually, there's a great training on the YouTube page. This is Healy World Americas on YouTube. Healy World Americas is our YouTube page, and there are different playlists. Just like Tech Tip Tuesday has its own playlist. So all the recordings for Tech Tip Tuesday are in the playlist called Tech Tip Tuesday. There's one called for Healy for Beginners and Beyond. In there was a training that was done specifically on the Advisor app and how to set up lists and how to set up schedules. So go in there and take a peek at that. It's great. It's a good training, and we've even covered it a couple of times on Tech Tip Tuesday, but that's where you find it. So what happens with the Healy for Beginners and Beyond? It's a full unboxing. There's different episodes. It's not every week. It's only when there's new things, like there's an episode on this new app right here, by the way, on how to use it. There's demonstrations live on screen. And then there's the interface with the MagHealy and the Healy. So that's in there. Then of course, when we did one specifically, I was on some, but not all of them, but did one specifically on the HealAdvisor app, the search app, and how to set things up there, how to set up automatic lists and an automatic schedule where it notifies you. It's phenomenal. So yeah, definitely go there and check it out. Okay. Yeah, so Henry's talking about that in the background. Hey, Paula, the HealAdvisor app allows you to create a schedule based on the topics you select. So yes, it's really useful. You choose a subject or a topic, then you can populate it with various different pages that you have. So in other words, let's say that you have a gold edition and you want to be able to answer the needs of the condition based on that edition, then you can limit it to just what programs are available to you there. Okay. All right. Wow, I love it when we get done early and can actually answer everybody's questions. Thank you all for being here and giving us all this great stimulus. I just like to also say a little bit about, I get a lot of questions around what's the most effective way to use your Healy. And, that's almost like saying, like, where's the best place to go swimming? It's like, that's really kind of your thing, right? It's like, what's the best way to use your Healy? There's such a lot of variety in ways of what we can do with Healy, but also individuals have more sensitivity to frequencies, some than others. And some people are so sensitive, they can't even use the microcurrent at all, and they can only use the coil. So we want to make sure that we understand, well, first, our own body. I always say, be the experiment, give things a test drive, and then write things down. Because if you don't write down what you experience, typically by the next day, your mind will edit it if you can't remember it. Like if I came up and I said, okay, here's what I want you to do. Just tell me everything you ate all week. I want you to write down everything you ate all week, and what day you ate it and what time. It would be a little bit more difficult than if you actually had a meal plan and a log book that you wrote all this stuff down in, because the mind will start to go, well, I don't know, I ate something on this day, but I can't remember exactly what time. And the same thing is true when we have some sort of experience with the Healy, the microcurrent, the coil, even the HealAdvisor Analyze. So when it comes to what's the best way to use the Healy, the best way, I like what Izzy says here, just use it, right? And be the experiment. Try the different modalities. Use the microcurrent. If you have a coil, use the coil. If you don't have a coil, I recommend getting one and trying it, because it's operating on a different energetic field of your body. And then if you've never used the resonance is the Blue Dot app, which gives you the ability to look at your body from an auric, the aura fields or the light energies of the body. And the body is separated by the frequencies of light, right? The root center from the lower part of the body up to the crown chakra, or the crown center, which is violet. The violet colors, so the body is separated by the speed of light. And the lower the speed, the closer to red, the higher the speed, the closer to purple. And that's why you see the different colors, the root chakra versus the crown. So there's a way of analyzing the body, looking at the light energies within each center. And this is based on the electron field, the information field, or the quantum field. Looking at your body in terms of light energy and making an analysis based on what frequencies are discovered in those energy centers. So in other words, the root center is red, but sometimes there's also the color blue in there. And if there's the color blue, which is the throat chakra or the fifth center in the root chakra, then probably something about our expression, our voice, our way of being heard is being suppressed by our survival mechanism. So think about that. This is where that auric analysis is so valuable, because it's looking at all the light frequencies within the body and looking at what should be there and what is there, and giving you an understanding of what the dissonance is, what the disconnect is, and what the issue might be. So, and then when we look at the resonance scan is looking at the body itself and finding out where you're out of resonance in certain areas, and giving you a very distinct, clear picture of whether it is causation is wrong acting, wrong thinking, spiritual behavior, ancestral, whether it's physical, emotional. It's a very good way of analyzing what's going on with you. So different ways of using Healy. And within the Blue Dot app, you're also able to do the function called vibrate. In other words, that's sending those frequencies out of the noise generator within Healy, which is actually out of basically the quantum sensor system, sending it into the field. So, and then shifting and changing the blueprint in the quantum field. all of us, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how many gentlemen are on here, but everyone, there is a perfect blueprint within the information field. And then the moment we start to use mind to filter the blueprint into matter or form, that's where the influence from the filter starts to come in. It is the mind that starts to shift the health of the body because of that influence. So Healy uses the Blue Dot app to tap into your perfect blueprint. Look at what will align you and send you those frequencies to do so. So there you go.
All right. And you have a request. Can you do a call purely on aura, please?
Well, thank you for the question. There are some great trainers and leaders out there doing stuff like that. You know, our intention is to create some Super Saturday events in which we can do some deep dives like that. There is one coming up, a Super Saturday that corporate's putting on, and that's coming up on November 19th. So write that down in your calendar. There will be a lot of great content on that Super Saturday. The intention is to get more training and give you more of that. So it's coming. Be patient. Again, I just try to unpack things a little bit here in basic concepts. But take a look in the Facebook groups. Take a look in some of the groups you're in, or ask your upline, because there are people doing that kind of thing. Okay, you guys. So Melinda, thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure hanging out with you. Henry, thank you very much for your brilliance and your help in the background. Don't forget, tune in next week. This recording will be on the YouTube page, and everything is hyperlinked with the content and the questions, so you can skip through to what you just want to see. Big love, everybody. I want you to have a great night and enjoy the rest of your week. Talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.